Why aren't investors funding my startup? You have a great startup idea. However, when you meet investors, your pitch falls flat. Then investors ghost you and you're left wondering why. That's what today's video is all about. I'll share with you the 10 most likely reasons you're not raising funding. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. We'll start by looking at team and execution issues. Then we'll move into pitch issues. Next, your readiness to raise funding will be examined. Finally, I'll close by looking at investor fit. So let's get started. And let's start by looking at team and execution issues. And we'll start with number 1 on our list. Number 1, you have no team, or you're missing key team members. Let's say you are considered to be brilliant, one of the best in your space. Investors really like you and they like your plan. However, you're missing a key team member or you don't have a team. Now, I want you to think like an investor would. One issue an investor is going to worry about is your ability to recruit a team. The second issue an investor is going to worry about will be your ability to execute if you are missing a key person. I had to overcome this exact problem. Investors liked what we were doing, but I was missing a VP of engineering. Some investors told me they would invest once we had this problem solved. My advice is to discuss the issue of missing team members head on. Tell investors your plan to find the right person. They may continue to pass, but you can come back when you solve the problem. This is what we did. And we received term sheets once we solved the problem. Next, let's move to number 2 on our list today. Number 2, you can't explain why you're different. Professional investors like investing in startups that have a different, unique way to solve the problem. It's called, in investor terms, your secret sauce. The reason this is so important is that if you're doing something different than the competition, then it might take time for the competitors to catch up. Or better yet, the competition never catches up. You want to answer 3 questions on your How It Works slides. First, what makes you different? Second, why is this innovation so important to your customers? And third, why will it be difficult for your competitors to replicate what you're doing or catch up? You'll need to rethink your plan if there's no differentiation between you and your competitors, or there is minimal differentiation between you and your competitors. Now, let's move to your pitch issues with number 3 on our list today. Number 3, you're hiding the vision. Your vision represents where your company is going long term. And in most startups, it's likely where the excitement lives. Your vision probably represents how you will revolutionize your industry. Yet, over and over, I see CEOs downplay their vision, or even worse, they don't even want to talk about their vision. For example, Sarah was presenting her product roadmap. The last product was labeled a super secret product that will change the market. I asked Sarah what that was about. She said, it's going to improve performance by 1,000 times and reduce customer costs by 10x. I asked her why she didn't tell investors about the product. And Sarah said, that's what the investor I was meeting with this morning said too. Here's the advice. You have to lead with your best. In other words, just like Sarah found out, your vision needs to be front and center. Now, let's move to number 4 on our list today. Number 4, you haven't clearly explained customer pain. Most pitches open with a problem slide and then a solution slide. So you tell investors about the problem you are solving, and then your pitch doesn't connect with investors. And guess what happens? They pass on investing in your startup. And now you're left wondering what went wrong. The issue is the difference between a customer problem and customer pain. That's why the pitch is falling flat. Customers can live with problems, but they desperately want their pain to be resolved. You want to solve a major pain point that customers have today or they will have soon. Make sure you dig deep and highlight the pain your customers are in when you pitch investors. Next, let's move to number 5 on our list. Number 5, you don't explain the competitive landscape well. My favorite slide in a pitch deck is the competitive analysis slide. Done right, your competitive analysis is a thing of beauty. Plus, you get to position yourself as the market expert. That's a double win. However, I see too many CEOs list the features of their product versus their key competitors. And the result is usually confusion and a wasted opportunity. I recommend using a two-dimensional perceptual map like Steve Jobs did during the iPhone launch. It just makes it so easy for investors to understand your differentiation from your customers. Try it. Next, let's move to number 6 on our list today. Number 6, your go-to-market strategy is confusing, or it's not thought through, or both. Imagine this scenario. You've wowed investors with how unique and powerful your product is. Now, you've made it to the go-to-market slide. Ideally, you'll show us a simple strategy of how you're going to acquire your initial customers. Instead, you show us a laundry list of ideas that looks like minimal thought has gone into it. Don't do that. Or your go-to-market strategy is so complicated that there's no real chance it will work. Or you tell us about the line of credit you have. Or you just skip the slide entirely and hope nobody notices. Simple is better when it comes to your go-to-market strategy. All you need to do is tell us how you got your existing customers, if you have customers, and how you will get your next group of customers. That's it. That's all you have to do. So now, let's review your readiness to raise funding with number 7 on our list. Number 7, you're raising the wrong amount of funding. The two classic mistakes I see CEOs make is they either are raising too little money or too much money. The reason CEOs ask for too little money is the misguided belief that raising a small amount of money is easier than raising a large amount of money. And that usually isn't true. In fact, if you ask for too little money, then you might not accomplish enough to justify the next round of funding. Investors are smart. They'll know you can't accomplish enough and they'll pass on investing. So what is the right amount of money? The general answer is you need to raise enough money to last you at least 18 months, but ideally 24 months. And you need to make significant progress to justify the next round of funding. Now, let's move to number 8 on the list. Number 8, you haven't reduced the risk. Let's say there are 2 companies trying to solve the same problem. Both companies started at the same time, and they are trying to raise money at the same time. They have similar teams on paper. Company 1 has introduced their product to the market, and they have 10 customers paying them $100,000 per year. It's $1 million, by the way. Company 2 suffered a delay introducing their product to market. Their product is similar to Company 1's product. They have no customers. Obviously, in this case, Company 1 is much more likely to raise money than Company 2 because the risk is less with Company 1. Your goal is to reduce as many of the potential risks of success as you can. This can be team risk, as we talked about earlier. It can be market risk. It can be developmental risk. You can never eliminate risk entirely, but your goal is reducing it as much as possible. Next, let's move to number 9 on our list. Number 9, you're not prepared in the meeting. I was meeting with a CEO yesterday, and he told me that the investor asked him how much faster they could go if they raised twice the amount of money. Andy said, I told the investor I would get back to him. Now, I'd rather Andy say that than lie. However, it was a missed opportunity because you lose momentum when you can't answer a question on the spot. Your goal is to be fully prepared before you meet with investors. You should rehearse your pitch. You should know your key financial numbers. You should know the competition. You should know what will happen to your company with more money in the round or less money in the round. Preparation is the key here. Finally, let's talk about investor fit issues with number 10 on our list. Number 10, you're targeting the wrong investors. I see this happen all the time. You reach out to a list of investors with a well-written cold email with a compelling subject line, and no investor responds to your request. And you can't figure out what's wrong. The place to start looking is with your list of investors. Here's the deal. Not all investors are created equally. There are early stage investors. There are late stage investors. There are investors that invest only in early stage healthcare opportunities. And there are investors that only invest in late stage technology opportunities. There are investors that only invest in Silicon Valley based companies. And there are investors that only invest in companies based in Paris. You have to build a list of investors that will invest in a company like yours at your state of development, asking for the amount of money that you're asking for, and located where you are located. You've got to get the intersection of all these things together. That's the goal. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit the like button right now. One final thought, put yourself in potential investors' shoes. I don't know if you've noticed, but the theme of today's video was risk reduction. I know you believe your startup is going to revolutionize your industry, and you should believe that. Yet, one of the smartest things you can do is think about what an investor would think about your company. That's where risk comes in. Here are some examples. Yes, the idea is great, but why won't it work? Yes, the CEO is great, but can the CEO recruit a team? Yes, the opportunity size is huge, but does the company's initial market choice make sense? You get the idea. The more you reduce risks, the better the chance of getting funded is and succeeding is. Now, I have 3 more things for you today. First, if you want to work with me on your startup, then just scan this QR code. Second, you can use my free Startup Pitch Deck template. It has all the slides you need to develop an awesome pitch deck. Scan the QR code to get yours for free. And third, join my free group of startup CEOs, Zero to Pitch. It's a community for startup CEOs focused on growing their companies and raising funding for their companies. Scan the QR code to join. And if you want help fixing your pitch, then just watch this free 20-minute training. Just click this over my left shoulder and you're there. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.